My fiancé said, "You're just being proud." I replied, "Proud is all I've got." Then I canceled the wedding, cut off our joint money, turned her ring into a keychain, and I smiled because she still thought a few tears would bring me back. Original post: I am 30. My ex-fiancée, Rebecca, is 28. We were together just over 2 years. No kids, I'm a welder. I've worked in the same fabrication shop since I was 19. I like my job, I'm good at it. It's honest work and it pays well enough. Rebecca worked in marketing for a local fashion brand. She liked that it sounded fancy when she told people at parties. We met through mutual friends. She was outgoing, confident, sharp. I thought she liked that I was grounded, steady, reliable. For a long time, it seemed to work. We got engaged last winter. I proposed after saving for nearly a year. Simple dinner, quiet yes, tears photos. I thought I was the luckiest guy alive. The first sign of trouble was small. She started making comments when we went out with her coworkers. "You don't have to talk about welding, babe," she'd say with a laugh. "They don't get blue-collar stuff." I brushed it off. Then it turned into introductions like, "This is Zach, my fiancé. He works with metal things." It got worse when we went dress shopping with her mother. Her mom asked what kind of suit I'd wear. I said probably dark gray with steel cufflinks. Rebecca rolled her eyes and said, "Of course you'd pick steel. Everything has to scream welder." That one stuck with me. Later that night, I told her that hurt. She said I was being sensitive. I let it go. The final straw came 2 months before the wedding. We were at a charity dinner for her work. I overheard her boss ask if she and I were excited for the big day. Rebecca laughed and said, "I am, but sometimes I wish he did something less dirty for a living." Then she added, "My mom says I'll have to remind people he's not a mechanic." I didn't say a word that night. I drove us home, quiet the whole way. I lay in bed next to her, listening to her scroll on her phone. Something in me shut off. The next morning, I got up early, made coffee, and opened my laptop. I emailed the venue, caterer, and florist. Asked about cancellation policies. I started a list of everything that had my name on it: deposits, accounts, contracts. I didn't confront her yet. I wanted to be ready first. Update 1: 3 days later, we had dinner with her parents. It was supposed to be a check-in about wedding plans. I stayed calm. Her mom asked if I'd finished paying off the honeymoon trip. I said, "No need anymore, it's canceled." Rebecca froze. "What?" I looked straight at her. "I canceled the wedding. I'm not marrying someone who's embarrassed by what I do for a living." Her dad blinked. "You two need to talk privately," he said. Rebecca's voice went high and sharp. "You're overreacting, Zach. I was just joking." "You can't seriously be ending an engagement over a comment." I stayed calm. "You've been joking for months. You laugh when people ask what I do. You introduce me like I'm a charity project. I'm done." She tried to grab my hand. "Zach, please, you're just being proud." I pulled my hand back. "Proud is all I've got. You don't get to take that too." Then I stood up, thanked her parents for dinner, and left. I could hear her crying as I closed the door. I didn't look back. Update 2: the next week was chaos. Rebecca called, texted, begged, screamed. Then came the anger. She showed up at my place 2 days later. I didn't let her in. Through the door, she shouted, "You're throwing away everything over your stupid ego." I said, "My ego's cleaner than your insults." That's when she keyed my truck. Deep lines across the driver's side door. My neighbor saw her do it. He recorded the whole thing. I filed a police report, sent her a copy, and blocked her number. That only made her switch tactics. She started posting on social media. Long, emotional paragraphs about how I couldn't handle a strong woman and abandoned her for no reason. Mutual friends reached out asking what happened. I didn't respond publicly. I sent a few of them the recording of her comments at the charity dinner, then the truck video. Silence followed. I removed my name from the joint savings account she had opened for the wedding. I canceled every vendor contract still pending payment. The deposits already spent were lost, but it felt worth it to breathe again. Her mom called once, crying. She said Rebecca was a mess, that she'd made a mistake, that I was breaking her heart. I told her I wasn't trying to break anything. I was just done fixing something that was never going to work. A week later, I took the engagement ring, a simple gold band with a diamond I'd paid for in installments, to a jeweler. He melted the band and turned it into a small keychain. I didn't do it out of spite. It was just symbolic. Something that used to lock me in now opened my door. Update 3, about a month later, Rebecca showed up at my job. I was in the shop working on a gate frame when one of the guys called out, "Hey man, someone's here for you." She stood at the entrance in a sundress and sunglasses, acting like it was a casual visit. "Can we talk?" she asked. I nodded toward the side lot. 5 minutes. We walked outside. She looked around, probably uncomfortable, surrounded by welding fumes and noise. "I miss you," she said. "I was stupid. I just wanted us to fit in with my friends. You know how they are." "I do," I said. "That's the problem. You cared more about fitting in with them than standing with me." She reached for my hand again. "I can change, Zach. I've been in therapy. I realize how wrong I was." I shook my head. "You don't need to change for me. You just need to stop pretending you're better than the people who build the world you live in." Her lip trembled. "Please don't do this. I love you." I met her eyes. "You love the idea of being loved, not the work that comes with it." Then I turned and walked back to the shop. My foreman nodded at me as I passed. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. Final update: it's been 8 months since the breakup. Rebecca moved to another city for work. Someone said she's seeing a financial advisor now. I wish her well, honestly. I don't check her pages. I don't ask about her. She's just part of my history. My life got simpler. I bought a small house on the edge of town, fixed the truck door myself, started teaching welding apprentices twice a week at the local trade school. It's good work, real work, the kind that makes sense. A few months ago, I gathered all the expensive gifts she'd given me, watches, designer shirts, colognes, and donated them to a local women's shelter's auction. I didn't need them. It felt right to turn something shallow into something useful. Then there was the ring keychain. One day, a coworker asked about it. I handed it to him and said, "Scrap it if you want." He grinned and turned it into a custom belt clip. The diamond's gone, but the metal stayed. Stronger now, forged again. I don't feel bitter anymore. I learned that respect isn't something you earn by climbing ladders. It's something you keep by standing your ground. Last week, one of the apprentices asked if I was ever married. I said, "Almost." He asked what happened. I smiled. "She didn't like that I worked with my hands." He looked confused. "Why not? That's the best part." I nodded. "Exactly." When I got home that night, I tossed my old wedding paperwork folder into the fire pit out back. It burned slow, bright, clean. Somewhere in the ashes, a faint bit of gold glinted before turning black. That was the last piece of her I had left.